Good morning, everybody. And today is a banking holiday. The banks are closed. The public markets are closed. The bond market is closed. The futures are open. They're probably, I'm guessing, are open till 1 o'clock. I will be stepping away about 10:30 or so, quarter of 11. So we'll let you watch to the extent of what we have. We haven't set the world on fire. And but we punch up occasionally. Be sure to push the notification buttons. You can't know for sure, but usually a little bit in the morning, maybe a little bit in the evening, and just creating a little bit of awareness of who we are, what we're about, and what we're doing. Of course, we all wake up and learn that nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law except except the crooks and the assassins, right? The political assassins, Liz Cheney, Kinzinger, Adam Schiff, the entire January 6th hoaxers, that whole panel, Fauci killed millions of people. Nobody's above the law. So what we do is we just pardon them, not for specific crimes. No, we just pardon them for everything. How disgraceful. How disgraceful. So you know Um, what goes around comes around. But don't despair because blanket pardons for crimes yet uncommitted, I don't think is going to hold a constitutional challenge. I doubt it. I doubt it. But and it will get challenged, that's for sure. Civilly and take it upon the states. I'd like to see the Attorney General for Florida do the same thing to Cheney and the rest of them, to Fauci, that they did to Rudy Giuliani. Prosecute him at the state level. That's all. Unbelievable. But it's I think is that SOB finally said goodbye? Bye bye Biden. Holy smokes. What a disgrace. Haven't said much about it these 4 years. Most he really takes the cake. The worst of the worst, the most corrupt, the most vile president this country has I have seen in my lifetime, and I've seen a few, starting with Carter. Seen a few. He's gone. Thank God. So we would expect the trading to be thin today, maybe a little more volatile than normal because again, banks closed, stock markets closed. It is a holiday. Futures, I think, will close at around 1 o'clock. So be aware, be aware, and we wake up to a mockery of the U.S. justice system, an absolute mockery. Why would you pardon an innocent person? Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, Fauci, Milley. Why would you pardon innocent people? You can't even name the crime. They did so many crimes. You can't pardon treason. Charge them with treason and prosecute them. I hope he does. Disgusting. Everybody should be outraged. Democrats should be ashamed. It will cost you again at the midterms. Country has changed, folks. The US has changed. You're gonna see it, but and you're gonna see it quick. And if the lunacy isn't more and more apparent, I mean, honestly, kids, I hope you've made a fortune with Bitcoin. I hope you've made a fortune with Ethereum, Bartcoin, Trump coin, Melania coin. Come on, come on, kids, you're cruising for a bruising. Maybe it's just mad money. Maybe it's Dave Portnoy. He put $500,000 on Trump coin, sold it 30 minutes later and made 1.5 million. Good for him. Then he turned around and took the $1 million profit and bet on the Buffalo Bills. There you go. That's you know, that's where we are. There's a lot of money sloshing around. It will be coming out. Be sure to see, we made a video of the interest rates. When interest rates rise, they suck the money back. They suck it back. It takes time, but they're rising. The American dollar is rising. Short-term interest rates are rising. Go look at the last 25 years, what that will do to this speculation. We have all sorts of indicators telling us we got one of the record high skew, which tells us that the smart money, oh, sorry about that. Abby must be a Democrat. I put Ted's food down. You turn your back on it, and he'll just kind of sit there and watch her, and she'll come over and put her snout in there and chew up his food. Unbelievable. That girl can eat. But oh man, really, it's gonna be interesting. I do think they can talk about it isn't a question of lawfare. It isn't a question of revenge. It isn't. It's a question of justice. Are we going to have it or are we not? So these people are going to have to stand up in court and explain themselves. We'll see. Did he pardon the guy who shot Ashley um, Babbitt on January 6th? Did he pardon all the people, all the FBI agents that were there? The so-called resurrection. Good grief. The insurrection. Did he pardon all those guys? Don't think so. They'll get them. They will get them. Gonna have to. And maybe dump out everything. JFK, Bobby Kennedy, and do it on Martin Luther King Day. They killed all three of them, no doubt. And Trump came within millimeters of joining them. See, the options market, the public stock market is closed, so the option market is down. So we can't glean that much from the VIX. And so I would expect there to be a bit of a rally here. Now we just got caught on the wrong side of that one trade. I very well may intervene and clean up that drawdown in a thin market. Don't be surprised. I'll let you know if I do it. I can't, it's nothing, against the law here. We can always intervene. I haven't intervened at all since last night. The machine has been on. If you had gone along this 23 minutes ago, you'd be up the full grand here at 8:32. Market immediately popped off. It's amazing though, isn't it? I mean, the people who for 4 years, you know, who went after their a political opponent. Let's face it, it was a political opponent. They did everything. And no, that refrain, I can hear it echoing in my head. Nobody's against that. Isn't it ironic? It's more than ironic. It's the same thing they do when they come out with these bills, that they name them exactly the opposite of what the bill is meant to do. Here it is. Fauci, Milley, and the J6 committee. The entire committee, all pardoned last night at midnight. Of course, they knew, and they probably knew when they were sitting there. And the people who tried to kill Trump probably have to check and see if they got pardoned. Think about it for a minute. The the guy, the second shooter of Trump in West Palm. What was his name? Not Crooks, the other guy. Now, we haven't had any kind of investigation on him, but let's just say he's Lee Harvey Oswald. This guy, this guy has a picture with a big Democratic donor. Guy owns a bunch of restaurants. Big Democratic donor. Picture of him. So imagine for a moment, let's roll back. It's 1963. You got Lee Harvey Oswald with a picture with some big donor, maybe a Republican donor, putting them together. Biden, Biden gave that restaurateur just last week, the last 10 days, a Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor you can bestow upon somebody. Just the optics of that alone would make you wonder, what? So I have to wonder, and I would want to know, although he has pardoned more people and sold more pardons than all the other presidents put together. But what did he pardon that guy? Probably buried in these pardons are the folks who tried to take him down. And they did try to kill him. There's no doubt in my mind at all. You know, it's gonna come out. It's gonna be shocking, maybe to the country. It's not gonna be shocking to me. Not gonna be shocking to you. Doubt it. It happens soon enough. Okay, so we have a little decision to make, right? We had a $1,000 draw. We have a 1,000 run up. What do we do? Do we let it run a little bit? We could. We could. I do see the 5 minute is really pretty extended up here in Euphoria. Um, I think because it's a holiday and trading could be thin, I think it might be best that we clean up that drawdown. So I'm going to be at the ready to take that off, if you don't mind. Now, maybe you would play it differently. I've disabled the strategy. It's asking me, it says, hey, Don, you just disabled it. Do you want this profit? And I'm about to take it in a moment or two. And we're going to clear it off. And then I'm going to reset the strategy and we'll see if we can catch one coming back the other way. Now, if you've been trading with greed and fear and greed, um, even if you have a trading robot, you're going to bring that fear and greed and fear with you. We have to purge you of that. We have to make you aware of that and well, we can't give you confidence, but give you the tools that can give you the experience and thereby, hopefully, through good execution, good instincts, some good basics, give you some confidence to get away from the greed and fear. But if you're constantly putting on trades and you're motivated, by the greed, I better get that money, I better get the money. Oh man, I lost the money. And you're grinding on that. Even no matter how many robots we give you, how many tools we give you, they're going to be transparent. You're going to continue to do that, and you won't have a good outcome. So we got to get you through that and through that hurdle. And I got to believe that it's, comparable. I've never flown a plane, but when you fly a plane at night in bad weather, can't see the airport, and you have to learn to trust the instruments on your piano, I got to believe it's a little bit unnerving, wouldn't you think, right? Would be for me. Never been in never flown a plane. So I've never flown a plane myself and don't have much flying experience. I'd probably be very uncomfortable, even though somebody might be telling me, "Oh, well, the plane's flying itself." I'd be like, "Oh, really? Really? Just the thoughts of it, right?" So you might have that those similar apprehensions, and chances are, I'm probably way too early, you know, taking it off, and we were more or less at this number. This might run up to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. I don't know, and I did take it off, but you know, um, it's a partial day, and I know the volumes are light, um, so it's no biggie. You may have played it different. You may be playing it different. Now, if you are taking some of these trades, we're not doing it for that reason, right? I'm not trying to prove an outcome. I'm not trying to give out. Geez, it's only 9:02. I was thinking it was 9:30. It's only 9:02. Okay. Um, does anybody know the hours on this bugger when she closes? Is it 1 o'clock today? I would think it's one. And I'm sorry to give anybody an earful on politics. I usually don't, right? I mean, I don't hide it, but I don't ever. But when I wake up, and I see that, it just disgusts me. You know what? If you committed a crime and 1 p.m., thank you, Jay Stewart. If you committed a crime or you didn't commit a crime and, stand up, face the music, you know. But when they do that, that tells me that reeks of corruption. I don't care what country it is, and we're a much better country than that, and we are, and the people are not going to stand for it. I'm telling you, wherever you be, there is a this country had been hijacked by a minority, a very vocal, very fierce minority. I'm not talking racial minority. I'm talking about a minority, a radical minority. And they have been tossed. They have been tossed. And this is where, even I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but um oh, he absolutely did. Oh, not that we, had any doubt about what he's painted, right? He's painted with the dollar bill. Piece of crap, honestly. Most maybe second only to LBJ. Also Lyndon Bird Johnson, one of the most corrupt, vile people. Isn't it amazing how sometimes, yeah, exactly, John. I mean, it really is, right? It's, politics aside, it's just common sense. Why would you give a blanket pardon? They haven't even been charged with anything. So I do think it will go to the Supreme Court. It has to go to the Supreme Court. We can't be giving blanket pardons for anything that you've done between such and such a dates, no matter what it is. I mean, what if some of these people, what if there was a conspiracy to kill Trump, on in some of the other pardons that he's done? Are we telling we can't prosecute that? I don't think so. It's not going to stand. It's going to delay things a little bit, but the individual states can go after them. And it isn't, um, like I say, it isn't lawfare. It's just justice. But look at this little sucker run, right? So, this position is now at 1,400. I mean, we came out, we cleared out. But yeah, Bag is a little fired up on it. I was hoping that I wanted to see those three go, I mean, and maybe a few others, but certainly Cheney, certainly Milley. Milley should be charged with treason. That SOB, was in contact. What he did was he was a joint chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, military. He very well could face a military tribunal. When Trump was on his way out after the first one, when they did the coup, he was in touch with China behind the scenes and telling them, but basically he was in power. That's treasonous. He needs to go. He needs to go to prison. He needs a military tribunal, and I think they will get him still. I mean, I think it's going to happen, but yeah, it's just. It's unbelievable. Think about how we're gonna find out too, right? How little, how little we know about the first shooter on Trump, the guy Crooks. We know nothing. Young kid, has no social media footprint. How many kids in high school have no social media footprint today? He's got none. IEDs in the trunk of his car. They weren't armed, but he's got a button. Who put those together? Who was he in contact with? How come we don't know? How come he supposedly had two or three overseas accounts? How come we don't know what those accounts are? How come we don't know, we should have everything on that kid. We should know where he was, going all the way back to when he was in kindergarten, and everyone who came in contact with him. We have nothing, nothing. And the press has done nothing. Zip, you know, they shoot him, they cremate him, and that's it, gone. And then the next guy down in West Palm, nothing. Oh, it will. It may take 25 or 30 years, like JFK and the others, but it will come out. It will. I know, but I think it's going to come out a lot sooner. I think Trump, because of what happened, understands it does need to be purged. And rather than, maybe for years they've been saying this stuff can't come out because it would weaken the faith in the people. No, the people already know. It would strengthen the faith in this place. People need to know. Okay, so the machine is on though. We don't trade any of that. I could go. Um, I just can't imagine just how close we came. Can you imagine if these people were still here? Oh, what I wanted to say was that I was so glad to see that Trump. Well, I heard him say two things. One, he was going to release all these files within the first couple of days. So we'll see. We'll see if he does. The second thing was that the 51 intelligence officers that signed on to the Russian hoax deal. Remember when they did that in the newspaper? He's going to strip them of all their clearances. That that it may not sound like a big thing. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So those 51 guys, they're going to have to go get a job, stocking shelves at Lowe's or Home Depot, because what they sell is their intelligence clearing, in the know, to write their papers, write their books, give their speeches, and come across in their interviews. Suddenly, they will know as much about our foreign policy and anything else as, I said, somebody's stocking shelves at Lowe's. So I hope they follow through with that. Strip them. That's their access to this information, their access to, the clearance is incredibly valuable to them. And it needs to be, send them. They won't even be able to get a job as a professor at Princeton because they won't have the information. They need to be dumped. And so I really hope they go through all of that and tighten it all down and strip them of it. Also, too, did you see where he appointed, I believe it's the guy with the dark glasses, the agent that was there when Trump got shot. I think he just made him head of the Secret Service. That guy will know. He's a long term, he's been there, someone like that. And at 1 o'clock today, he'll be head of the Secret Service. Clean him out. All the DEI hires, fire them, get rid of them. I would go in there with a meat cleaver. Wouldn't that be sweet? Imagine having been a Secret Service agent for like 20 years. You're paying your dues, and you got to work for a bunch of, ass clowns, kind of like the fire department for LA. And then in the span of, just a few days or a few weeks, suddenly you're the top dog. He'll clean it. He'll gut them. Yeah, exactly. Ban them from being a lobbyist. Exactly. Freeze them out. Freeze them out. No more, we don't need any more Faucis, becoming super rich. It's at the trough. It's corruption. It's corruption at an unbelievable level. It's so much more than we probably know. All right, we're gonna let you watch. I won't yeah, no, there's a ton of podcasts that talk about this stuff. I I don't. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and there's so much good podcasts and good information out there and some great books. Um, but that's not what we're doing, here. Day in and day out. We're here to put it all aside, not to get angry about it or anything, but to come into a market that is going up or going down and extract cash flow from the money flow and then go out and have a great life day in and day out. Trading as a business. We've been here a long time, so I've seen, we've been here doing what we're doing for 20 some odd, 24 some odd years. What I mean by that is trading actively. I was in the markets even long before that. But um um but stock market caddy didn't come out of the ground until 2012. And what is shocking to us is like we've never advertised. So I don't even know how anybody even finds us, right? And Bagger, I'm not showing my cleavage. You don't really, I'm not doing that. Even though Susan says, Don, if you did that, you'd probably have like, 500,000. Yeah, God. Um, so we don't do that. But on certain occasions, certain days, it's kind of, you know what? We've been for 4 years having to do this, you know. And we know, okay, it was a coup. Okay. Biden did not get 20 million more votes than Obama. I mean, case solved. I mean, that's ludicrous. It didn't happen. And even on the January 6th, something that I did not know that you may not know, because I didn't know with all the podcasts and all the things that I listened to. Do you know that on January 6th, when Biden get in, there was a move afoot to have a recount, a recount. That's what was going to happen. And Senator Cruz was leading about 6 or 7 Republican senators on January 6th to hold a vote for a recount. And that is what the Demis were afraid of. Because if they had held a recount, then there would have been a sober review of that election because it was a coup. It was a coup d'etat. So the whole January 6th thing, that whole commotion, if you put up a clock on one side of when Senator Cruz was about to hold the vote, and then a clock on the other side when they started waving those people in to the Capitol building for their tour of the Capitol building, and that's what it was. It was simultaneously. And the vote, Cruz then stopped the vote. And then by the end of the day, the vote was off and the coup d'etat was complete. And of course, then it became a meme or whatever in and of itself. But the whole January 6th thing was a construct to follow up. And it was game planned. It was gamed. They knew they stole the election. They knew in advance they were going to steal the election. And then they had to be prepared if the people rose up, whether it be on social media, or whether it had been in DC, and what they were going to do. And that was a big, big part of that. And they had to have it look and sound violent. And that's, there's no doubt in my mind what they did. And now we know that the conspirators from Cheney probably in on it, probably gave him the idea, to Kurtzinger, to everyone else on that committee. We now know they're as dirty as the day is long. And that's why they felt as though they had to be pardoned. They're gonna have to prosecute them the same. They're gonna have to challenge those pardons at the Supreme Court. They have to, because there's millions and millions of people like me that don't believe it. And he has to do it. He better do it. So, any case, but that's what it was. And the people today don't even know who JFK was. I mean, that's another whole host. You got to think about what that was taking place back then in November of 63. Johnson was going off the ticket. They were about, Bobby was about, there was a story to break on Life magazine that weekend. They were going after one of Johnson's biggest benefactors in a cotton swindle. They called them cotton swamps. They were going to prosecute his supporter, and they were going to use that, and they were going to tie up Johnson in a corruption trial. That's what it was. His career, he was the Biden of the day. His career, he would have been going out the door, and he would have been in prison. In his mind, he had to kill Kennedy, and they did. And the truth be known, Biden, somewheres in the 2,500, 3,000 pardons, probably pardoned the same people. And I believe he did give the go ahead for them to kill Trump. Imagine where we'd be if they had killed him. This SOB, this dementia-ridden, corrupt piece of crap would have been still in office. We'd be putting him in. He'd go through the inauguration, then he'd step aside, and then we would have been left with the dingbat for the sake of a few millimeters. How close was that? Oh well. They this is not um it's not exactly what we think. Are the markets corrupt? Sure. Yes. Are they? Absolutely. It's why Susan and I have been doing what we've been doing for 25 years. They're corrupt. We just got to stay on the side that's corrupt, right? We got to stay on the right side. Whatever your interval is, whatever your market is, and then just let it rest. So I'll let it rest. I'll get off my little soapbox, but um, we'll let you watch up until about 10:30, because then we have to break away. I've got to break away right now. The machine is still running, so if we get another, it would be a short trade. It'll go in automatically. I'm bagging on. This is Stock Market Caddy. It isn't a podcast about politics. It isn't. It is. We are a mentoring site for trading, for trading, and but one of the good things, one of the bad things, I don't know. Because of what we do, we're a little you us, we have to be a little bit more dialed into what's going on in the world than maybe the average bear out there, but that's okay. Good luck, everybody. We'll be here. Thanks. Okay. And we can see, right? Invariably, I took it off a little too soon, but that's okay. I mean, we were at about 1400 here, now at 2500. So easily could have been another $1,000. We will get plenty of opportunity this week, every week. This isn't the only market we're trading. This isn't the only account we have. We have multiple accounts. We're trading multiple markets. We also trade options. When the options market is open, not open today, stocks are not open. It is a banking holiday. If you have any questions, be sure, or questions about who we are, feel free to visit stockmarketcaddy.com. Feel free to post them in the chat. It is 9:42, and at 10:30, this broadcast will need to come to an end. The futures are closing at 1 today, so I'm not surprised we got a little short squeeze. They'll open tonight at what time? 6, right? 6. And then we will be underway. And if everything goes well in DC today, Trump will also be underway. And now we're not running a podcast trading room or anything of that sort. We're not, right? I'm not drawing trend lines and buy here, sell there. That's for other people. We don't do that. Our members don't do that. They're not expecting that. It is about learning to trade your game, but we build very sophisticated algorithms. In fact, let's go take a look at the rest of the markets. Now I'm going to have some Zoom writing that's going to block a few things, but let's see if we can go take a peek through it. Yep. Okay, so it's kind of blocking this out here a little bit. But this is the 5 minute. That's not my belly. That's Abby. The Goldens are just when we get cool weather, we get weather in the low 50s down here right now. So the Goldens, Abby and Ted are just, they're happy campers. So they're growling and playing with each other. House is a little cool. ES. Oh, the VIX, 5 minute short at 8:35. Ted, that's my arm. We're not going to the park. We're not going. He hits my elbow, and that sends the mouse up here someplace. The 5 minute. No, Ted, no, no, not now. Later. Yeah. Did you hear that? Did you hear it? He grunted. I swear, if these guys could talk, I swear they talk. I don't know if you'd hear it. I just told him we're not going to the park now, and I get a grunt. They know when it's 4 o'clock. They know minutes before the bell. The 5 minute 1800 at 8:40. This one, actually the NQ. Let's go see the NQ. Let me see if I can bring that into view. There's the NQ. 5 minute 8:40 2600. Here's the Russell. No, let's slide back down. Sorry. Let's go to the Dow. 835, 850, 835, 1300. Gold down 835, 1100. Silver long 915, 200. Oil 845, 180. And then the cryptos. Everybody's all excited because Bitcoin went to 110. But be careful. Trump coin went to whatever to go into. Absurd. What took Bitcoin to do in 8 years, Trump coin did in 2 days, only to fall 50%. And then Melania coin. Oh my God. Isn't this amazing, right? I'm not so crazy that they did that, but you know what? Somebody, I was on Thursday or Friday, whenever they did that nonsense. I think it was all on Friday. Somebody put $1 million into Trump coin at 18 cents. And at the close of business on Friday, that position was up 321 million. Now, I mean, you only have to get rich once, right? I hope it was Rudy Giuliani that did it and got himself out of Dodge. They're probably enriching all of themselves, on this, whatever, you know, if people are foolish enough. But it just goes to show, what a a Ponzi is, right? There's no recognition of value. Nobody cares about value or any kind of, there's no value consideration. It's, I'm getting in before everyone else. I'm getting out before everyone else. Um, you know, it is what it is, right? Um, if you got liquidity and you got access to it and you know how to trade it, but the problem is when you trade something that's only been around for 1 or 2 days, you're going to have that type, crazy, 50%, up, 50% down, that sort of thing. Um, let's slide back to what we're doing here. Remember, there are 24 trading days in a month if there's no holidays and if you're trading futures. If you're trading futures and you want to take Fridays off, which we usually do, now we're down to 20 days. 20 days. So $100 a day is 2 grand. 200, 4 grand. 300, 6 grand. 500, 10 grand. Now, doesn't always have to be just one market. Maybe it's 200 a day out of the NQ. Maybe it's 100 a day out of the ES. Maybe it's, as you get your trading legs. That's Abby. Here she goes. Here she goes. Gonna bring it in here. Jesus, this incredible, incredible. It's so loud. I don't know if you can hear it. It's just loud to me. I got headphones on. I'm sorry, but they're happy pups. Pretty well fed pups too. All right. Any questions? Let us know. Good morning. Good morning. And it's a very quiet day. It's going to be a quiet day. It's a banking holiday, bond holiday. So the bond market's closed, stock market's closed, banks are closed, futures will close at 1. It's Martin Luther King Day. And we did have a draw. We got caught on this one right here. We had a nice little profit, but we got caught on that one. And she went up and we took the profit. We also took it a little bit early, probably left $1,000 on the table, but that's okay. It cleaned up the drawdown. I intervened just because it's a partial day and the volumes are light. I thought it might be best to do that. So I intervened. You may have done something different. Be sure to visit the website. You got any questions and enjoy. Quiet day today. Quiet day. Now, I might very well take this 1 minute. I might do it manually, and we'll see if it confirms. We'll see. And we might see if we can get out ahead. Yep, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and take it manually. You don't have to, I'm not suggesting anybody do this, right? You're on delay. You don't have the tools at your fingertips. And but we are going to see if we can take a little scalp. The program is still running, right? So you can still trade around it. You can still um, see, this is that it doesn't match up with the chart because the chart is a 5 minute and we're looking at the 1 minute swing. The VIX hasn't popped up. Probably not likely to pop up today. Probably not, unless God forbid something was ever to go down in DC, which you can't rule that out. Um, Taking all sorts of precautions and changing schedules and times and everything. And I think that's a big part of it. A huge security threat today. Huge security threat going forward. Um, we won't double up. We won't do that. We're not going to take two contracts, even though we certainly could, but we're not going to do that. Not necessary. Okay, I got a choice to make, right? I can let this contract go or I can let the machine take it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this. We'll put that money in our pocket. And if the 5 minute goes, we'll take the five. I could have gone either way. But again, folks, this is a holiday. I've only had, a few trades. $500 a day. Okay, on average, right? If you can be netting 500, it's 10 grand a month on one market, one mini. We repeat that over and over again, trying to remind everybody, you know, um, just to go slow. The euro, pound, and the Canadian dollar had a decent bounce this morning. I would expect that. Um, I would. I think, but the one you want to watch is the yen. I think the yen should be I think it's time to start acquiring yen underneath 65 cents. I think the Canadian dollar underneath 70 cents is very attractive to buy and to visit Canada. Um, I'm sorry. The euro, I think the dollar, I don't think is done yet, entirely here. So, um, we made a little video. Let me go look here. Um, yeah, the euro. Okay, big move. Big move in the euro there. What's today? That was last night, actually. Wow. Wow. Yeah, big move in the euro. Big move. Um, we have the euro up on an hourly basis. Yeah, it shifted. Big move. Big move. What was that all about, huh? So the on a 60 minute, the dollar goes short last night at 2 a.m. The euro went long at 11 p.m. Um, so the dollar is up $1,000. The margin necessary to do that, Tina, is only 2 grand. That's a 50% return. And the euro is up 1,400. Also huge move. You're right. Very nice catch, Tina. Big move. That's good, actually. Um, Now, the interpretation, I'm not going to get into the interpretation of what that might mean because you know what? I don't even, don't trouble myself with it. I'll let others do it and I'll listen to it because I'll be interested. That's the thing, right? I'm not I'm not a Princeton economics, or a banking economist or anything, and I'm not trying to be right. I do find that the conversations interesting, right? I just like, why, maybe, but I don't ask why before I put the trade on. But yeah, very good. So my guess is, what is gold doing, Tina? Let's go take a look here. Intraday. Let's go slide over here. Um, it's a little odd, huh? That the dollar or the gold would be down. Hmm, pretty interesting. Well, we have the euro moving. Let's put this in. Okay, if you don't mind, I'm going to just, in the interest of space here, let's put in the dollar. Now, the dollar in this account is on a delayed, so I'm not even sure why, but because we're not trading the dollar on this particular account. So I think it comes through ICE. So let me put this onto I'm going to put it on a daily first. And then let's slide the euro contract, the continuous euro in here. And let's put it on a daily and see what we see, right? So they are the most inverse, those two in particular, the dollar or the euro. The dollar is inverse with everybody else too, currency wise, but particularly the euro. So the dollar goes long 73 days ago at 102, at 102. If you took it at 102 and it's trading at 107.88, but it's off 131 basis points from, this morning here. But you still would have been up 5.77% from the signal to the current price. But if you put $2,000, two measly $1,000, that's all it costs you to get a dollar futures contract on overnight. 2 grand. Now you want to have a little bit of a cush, but that's all it takes. You'd be up 300%. 6 grand. even with the dip, even with it being down, right? So you're up even more. The euro, 74 days ago, same thing, 5%, right? So they're a mirror image. How much does it cost to get short the euro? About 3,500 or so, thereabouts, and you've doubled your money there. Now the question is, now this is where we get into, when we get into the Q school, we're going to help you think through, and it's more of a question of how much time you have, how much capital you want to trade, what you want to trade, how you want to go about it in the interval, right? So I'm not trying to confuse anybody. I mean, you could be a daily swing trader and been on this for months, and there's really no reason to even come out of it. So I'm not ready yet to say, even though it's been a big move, I'm not ready yet on a daily basis to say short the American dollar and get long euro. Others might, but we wouldn't. However, what if you could get inside? This is without even looking at a chart. What if you could get inside? And by the way, they're very proportionate. I mean, the dollar's at 40, the euro's at 60. They're very, very proportionate. Now, if the dollar gets under, well, it is under 108. So, yeah, I mean, it could, but we'll see. But let me put this on a 60-minute. Now, Tina brought this to our attention, right? So I can't say that I wasn't trading the dollar in the euro. So I didn't, have eyes on it, but Tina did. So if this was something that you were tracking on an hourly basis, trying to get inside the daily, you could have got short the dollar 9 hours ago, which was at what time? 2 a.m. At 2 a.m., just about when Europe opens up. What's that all about? Somebody's selling dollars, right? Maybe it's the Swiss, the national team, right? At 2 a.m. But look here on the euro. Now that's a delayed. So maybe we could have, if it was a live data, maybe it was off by 30 minutes or something. I'm not 100%. But the euro went long 13 hours ago at 11 p.m. last night, Tina. Now you would have seen it gap up this morning well, no, because the ETFs are closed, but that on an hourly basis, that's when it went. And it's a 1% move on cash and you'd be up 1,200 bucks. So between the two, if you were trading the dollar and the euro, you get a trade on here and not a whole lot of capital, and you get yourself a nice fat trade. And it looks to be on an hourly basis. We now have the dollar in panic sell. We have the euro in euphoria. It's probably going to come in a little bit, right? And then my guess is that the dollar will resume her run in another few days. But I think, well, not I think, um, I know you're going to do better. I'm going to put this in. When you decide, oops, what happened there? What the devil? What did I just do? Hold on. What happened there? Um, what did I just do? I was trying to put this back. Um, at that was weird. Um, if you come into a market on a hourly chart, you should come out on an hourly or smaller. In other words, don't try to be getting cute. I don't think we don't teach. Come in on an hour and try to stretch that bugger into a daily or into some sort of weekly trade because the likelihood that you nail it that precisely um, is um, is a challenge. I think if you come in on a if you come in on whatever time frame, so similar to here, even if you come in, if you could, and you can program this. If you come in on a 5 minute, come out on a 5 minute or less, and you'll change the dynamics and be in much more control. And it's a lot easier to go. It's when a trader comes in on a time frame and then they try to stretch it. They come in on a daily, they got themselves a nice trade, and they're like, oh, they start looking at the weekly and the monthly, and then they, oh man, I could be in this for 8 months, honey. And all of a sudden it goes to crap. You know, you don't want to do that, in my view. Thanks, Tina, and I hope you're on it. Folks, it's 10:30. I hate to do this, but we need this screen. Working on a very, very big project, and it came up quick. The futures markets are only open till 1 o'clock, and so be sure to on YouTube. You can follow for free on YouTube, Twitter as well. We don't put out a whole lot on Twitter, but it's free. If you push the like and notification buttons, one, we appreciate the like. It helps us with the algos, and get more awareness. We appreciate the retweets. But if you push the notification button, the bell, when we come up, whether it be, it's usually sometimes it's been this pattern, seems to be in the evening and in the morning around, anyways, could be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, somewhere's in there. We'll try to come up for a little bit most days, not every day. I can't commit to that. But and it's really not to hand out trades. It isn't to prove an outcome. It's just to show you some of the things that we're looking at, what we're thinking, and you're welcome to ask questions. That's why we do it. It's how we create awareness of who we are. Seems to have worked a little bit, and Stock Market Caddy continues to grow. It's crazy. And some of the folks may be here, when the reach now, I mean, the last couple of weeks, remember from Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, which I always thought Belgium and Netherlands was the same, but maybe it isn't. Excuse me. I don't offend anybody there, but I always kind of thought it was the same. Um, um, Singapore, that's crazy. I'm not even sure what the hours are there, the differences. So the world is getting smaller and the markets are getting bigger, right? They're getting more deep, they're getting more wide, more people playing. I think it's a great thing, right? If we can get more communication and more democratization, more communication, person to person, from here to Norway to Canada to wherever, and we begin to relate to each other, maybe some of the old guard, you know, animosities, not that there's any animosity between us and Norway or Canada, but some of that can come down. Maybe that's kind of naive. I'm not sure, but I think it's a good thing, right? But the more we interact with each other. I know our neighbors to the north, and maybe other neighbors are not too happy with Trump's tariff. Um, I don't think, I really don't think the tariffs are gonna go on to Canada. I don't think so. Um, I think you got to remember this guy is art of the deal, and he likes to exert influence and pressures. It's should be no secret, he's not a Trudeau fan. So if you're in Canada, um, and you're a Trudeau fan, I'm sorry, but he isn't. And there's a large section of the U.S. that don't like Trudeau, don't like what he was doing to your own people, and some of his attitudes here. Um, we're crazy about it. I don't think the tariffs are going to go on Canada, and I think Canada. Well, Trudeau's already said he's stepping aside. We'll see if that happens, but not that he's a big threat or anything. But it's just well, I think there's a move, right? A move afoot. And how about that guy? Is it Meili? Meili from Argentina? Did you see, how they were having raging inflation for 14 years, right? This guy gets in, he's conservative. It's like, I'm ending this government, or this government bureau. And everyone, and all the Marxists and all the socialists, oh, that's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. He's going to destroy it. Guess what? In a year, they got a surplus. They get a surplus. They said the same things about Reagan. Now, Reagan wasn't nearly as cost cutting as he, said he was going to be. They never really are. But I would be surprised. I don't think he's going to put tariffs on Canada. Now, will he put tariffs on Mexico? He will if they don't get control of that border. Um, I think he will. And so they're gonna end, there's a leftist down there so that he can't, probably won't be able to seat gone. But so it is what it is, you know. Um, Italy has themselves a conservative, Argentina has a conservative, we have ourselves a new regime. Um, you know, England, Jesus, what in the world is going on in the UK? Germany, I'm not so sure about. I don't know. I don't know. We have members in Germany. They'll have to fill us in. But this is going and he's going to one thing about Trump, man, that SOB don't sleep. He is doing it, man. He isn't coming in to mess around. Basically got 2 years and then he'll be it. I mean, he can't run again. This is it. So he's really and the people he's appointing, which is tremendous, they're all young. They're all in their 40s and early 50s, if that. So they're going to be around a long time and they're smart and they're strong. And they're not all men. They're not all white men. They're not all white women. It is a mixed picture. Um, it's a beautiful thing. DeSantis is young, the governor of Florida, just appointed a new senator for Florida for the opening. What was that opening? I'm trying to forget. I forget. Oh, for Rubio. Rubio had to be replaced. Young lady from our very neighborhood, from the very neighborhood in which I live. She is what's she about 47, 48 years old. U.S. Senator. Boom. She's good too. Good. So good young folks. Kelsey, not Kelsey. What's her name? Tulsi. 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 Young person. Hegseth. Young. JD. Young. Even Musk. It's good. I think it's the so-called fourth turning. I believe in that. It's generational. All right, folks, we got to turn down. We're off to a decent start. We'll try to give you an update as we go. And we're gonna probably stay with the swing machine this week. 'Cause she's been doing okay. And last week we just missed a few that could have been phenomenal. So let's see if we can get ourselves a couple of nice fat trades the next couple of days and have a nice big fat week with this a one market trading one mini. These numbers are too big for you, you can trade a micro. If these are too small for you, you can trade 10 of them if you want. Instead of being, up 530, you'd be up 10 of them would be, yeah, 5 grand. It's all scalable. We've got to break away. Have a good rest of half day. Futures close at 1. Thanks. By the way, if we have your email address, right? If we do, you can get on a mailer. And a lot of times what we'll do is we're taping this right now. So at the end of the day, a lot of times we'll don't do it every day. We try, but are a lot, but we will compress the video from hours down to just a couple of minutes and you can get a chance to see the outcome and we'll send it out to anyone who's on the mailing list. We're not doing it to annoy anyone. We're not. So if you find it annoying, we have had some people say, stop sending it to me. You're pissing me off. I don't have the time. I don't have the money to do it. And I'm getting pissed off that people are making money. The guy said that in a kind of a fun way. I'm like, no problem. I'll take you off. I mean, you know, at some point somebody put it on. We don't, I just don't send it, and we don't send out broadcast emails to people that didn't ask to be on. If you're getting anything from us, it's because at some point somebody, would have requested it. So if you want the emails or anything from us, just go to the website. There's a little submission form. You can just send us your email. If you don't, and you find it annoying, just take it off, and we won't you won't get it. You won't get a notification. Um, a lot of times I don't go to the trouble of saying unsubscribe. I mean, it's just like just tell us. That's all. Not trying to annoy. Have a great rest of the day, folks. these little swing points. These we call the ball markers, right? So, and there's a number of ways to trade these, number of ways to do it robotically. We can put it in multiple sets, but this would have been resistance. Pulls back, touches, right? Touches right down in here. Boom, off, breaks through, breaks through. What does it do? It comes right back to the scene of the crime. What was resistance, now support.